Good evening, good, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to my channel. I'm so used to streaming in the evening that I almost said good evening. I am Orqata, and I will be entertaining you for the next 2 hours on my channel. What are we doing today? Well, we are working on the website for the Saving Wallden pinball table that I have been developing for quite some time now. So today we're going to be working on that. But before we get into Saving Wallden and the website, I have a few announcements that I want to cover. First and foremost, my August schedule is now out. This is not the official schedule. This is kind of tentative, but this is kind of what it's looking like it's going to be. It's a little bit different from my normal streaming schedule, and that is because I am moving. I am moving this week to another town. So my availability in the month of August is going to be quite limited. In fact, there will be no streams starting tomorrow until August the 2nd because of the move, and also there is a chance that I might not have internet when I first move into my location. And if that's the case, then there's not going to be any streams until I get the internet. So that's why there's a reduced chance the following week. The second reason being that the family is also going to be in town. So once that is over with, then we move into the actual schedule for August, and the schedule is looking like Sundays and Fridays. Now, unfortunately, they're not going to I'm not going to be streaming often. So most likely what will happen is, if I'm lucky, there will be 2 streams in a week. One on Sunday and one on Friday, but most likely what will happen each week in August is I will either stream on Sunday or Friday. The times, unfortunately, because my schedule is going to be so hectic in the month of August, I can't give a set time, unfortunately, for my streams, except if I were to stream on Saturday. If I were to stream on Saturday, it will for sure be 8 to 10 p.m., but that's going to be rare if it actually does happen in August. But Sunday and Friday, it really depends on what is happening. So in August, for a couple of weeks, I will actually be in West Virginia with family. While I am there, they have the most unstable, unpredictable sleep schedule. And for that reason, whenever I am there, unfortunately, I can never predict when they're going to be awake. And so I can't set the stream time whenever I'm visiting them. So that's why the stream schedule for the month of August is the way it is, and it's kind of going to be unpredictable. Alright, the other announcement that I want to make, I did change my monthly goal. Instead of just saying monthly monetary contribution goal, I'm actually going to make a specific, I guess, reward or tier, you would call it. I think that would be more incentivizing than just saying monthly goal or something like that. So, the goal for this month, if we can break at $20 in monetary donations, I will do a ghost pepper chicken noodle soup stream. It's going to be kind of painful. So, What is that, you ask? Well, what I'm going to do is, if we achieve the stream, then I am going to play some sort of game, and on every failure or every death, I am going to have to take a few spoonfuls of Campbell's Chunky Ghost Pepper Chicken Noodle Soup. It is very hot, so that'll be fun. What counts as monetary? What counts towards the goal? There are several things that can count towards the goal. Direct donations through my Stripe account will count towards the goal. Kicks and kick subs also count towards the goal. Valora, Volts, I think they're called, and subs will also count towards the goal. Twitch bits and subscriptions will not count towards the goal. And that is because I am not an affiliate on Twitch. So if you try and sub or send the bits on Twitch, please don't do that, because I don't get anything from those since I'm not an affiliate. If you really want to support me, please do that on Kick or Valora instead, or consider donating to my Stripe. You could get a link to all of these by going to my website at orqata.live. Small additional announcement. I did change one of my redeems. Every month I get rid of one redeem and add a new redeem. This month I added Start Car. So for 150 ducats, you can make Microsoft Sam start his car. It's a classic YouTube video from way back when people typed in a bunch of characters into the text-to-speech Microsoft Sam and made him make funny sound. So if you want to see how many ducats you have, just use the command !ducats, and different things, different interactions earn you ducats. They're kind of like my version of channel points. With that being said, let's get started on today's stream. So what we are working on is, as I mentioned before, the Saving Wallden website. So let me fire up my developer environment. I am using the Larabox, I guess you would call it stack, since I'm using Windows. Now normally I wouldn't use Windows for development, but I don't really have a choice, unfortunately, because the software that I use for work requires Windows. Oops. I have to figure out the old URL for Wallden. What we're doing is we're creating a new website for Saving Wallden, the pinball game that I am developing. And we are taking the content from the old website and putting it on into a new website. That's what we're doing. But between my previous Saving Wallden stream and now, I did make some progression on the website. Please bear with me, I don't remember exactly what I left off at in my previous stream, so I may repeat something. But we have, I do know the AI statement is new. So, since we now have an artist and a musician on board as a contributor with the Saving Wallden project, I made it a point that we are going to start getting rid of the temporary AI assets that are in the game. When I started this project, I did have AI assets in the game, but my intention was that the AI assets would eventually be replaced with original assets once I could find somebody to help with that. And now that we have somebody on the team to do that, we are in the process of shutting AI out of the project. Now, For those of you who are in the VTuber world, you may have heard about the controversial opinions of one VTuber recently who has discussed her take on generative AI. Unfortunately, I don't watch this VTuber, so I can't remember her name. But she apparently had a controversial hot take with AI and was actually supportive of AI under certain circumstances. Some people would say, you don't have hundreds of dollars. Some people don't have hundreds of dollars to be able to commission an artist. Especially in the VTuber world. If you want art in the VTuber world, it could get very expensive. Especially if you are looking towards artwork for models. Those can actually approach thousands of dollars if you include the rigging process. And the people don't have that kind of money. So we have a VTuber who takes a neutral stance, I guess you would take it, with artificial intelligence. They're kind of supportive in certain circumstances. And believe it or not, I take the same stance personally with artificial intelligence. I am not necessarily in support of AI, especially generative AI. I am in recognition of generative AI specifically. I have a problem with because it cuts people's jobs, it reduces overall human creativity, and it's a huge resource hog. It is also a big player in copyright infringement and plagiarism. A lot of the data that these generative AI models are trained on has been unethically sourced. In other words, they have been stolen. So, generative AI, that's one of those, I do sometimes use generative AI for personal use. I will admit to that. But I am getting rid of generative AI use in non-personal aspects of my life. Like, for instance, I used to have AI music on my stream. I don't anymore. I found this cool website called Tabletop Audio, which has some really nice ambient background music that you can use. And as the name suggests, it is primarily for role-playing and tabletop games. But I use it as it works very nicely as stream background music, and they do permit permit use in streaming in their about section. So give them a check them out and look at some of the stuff that they got. I also sometimes use music from a group called Stream Beats. So just like with Tabletop Audio, Stream Beats also permits use within streaming and videos and things like that. And they got some royalty-free music that you can use that was created by actual people and not AI. So, as you can see, I am getting rid of AI in non-personal areas of my life. Of course, the model that I use has no AI in it. It's just Vroid and some assets that I purchased from Booth, and then I made some textural edits in the GNU image manipulation program. The stream overlay that you see is also not AI. I created that in canva.com. I did not use their AI tool. I actually put the shapes together and found the assets and changed the colors and everything like that. The background, the forest picture is also from Canva, and again, that's not AI to my knowledge. Now, you do have to be careful with Canva's photos, because I did notice some AI pictures in their library, and they don't tell you sometimes they don't tell you that it's AI generated. You do have to be careful with Canva. And then, of course, the little fluttering birds and bats. That's a JavaScript program. That's a JavaScript library. What is it called? Is it Vanta.js, if I recall correctly? Yes. Vanta.js, and you could actually use this on your own website if you wanted to. Really cool. Really cool JavaScript library. Alright, I kinda got on a side tangent here, but I do have some moral principles in place. So if you do use AI, you should follow these moral principles, so to speak. And they're pretty strict too. Like, for instance, AI should never replace human, it should supplement human. If you can afford to hire a human to do the same job, you should hire the human and don't use AI, no exception. Alright, so going back to saving Wallden. How does all of this relate to saving Wallden? We have decided, since we now have artists on board of the project, that we were going to start prohibiting generative AI in the project. So there's a bit of a discrepancy here. The VTuber community is at large very against generative AI, and for good reasons. There are a lot of VTubers are also artists, and AI takes commissions away from them, and AI unethically trains on their art without their permission and without the paying them royalty. The virtual pinball community, on the other hand, is quite supportive of generative AI, and here's where that discrepancy comes into play. Because you got myself and also the artist, who is also a VTuber, Coco Loco, I think his name is. Let me check real quick. Coco Loco 3412 on Twitch, if you want to check him out. That's his name. Alex Terrell on YouTube. Oh, I could have just pulled up the attributions page and showed you. There he is right here. He is also a VTuber. So, with the discrepancy between the pro-generative AI stance within the virtual pinball community and the anti-generative AI stance within the VTuber community, we had to set some ground rules for saving Wallden. And one of that being, okay, we got an artist and a musician working on this table and creating original assets. At this point, let's get rid of AI. Okay? Let's just prohibit it. We don't want it in this particular project. Other people in other pinball projects, if you want to use AI in your table, go right ahead. I particularly don't like the use of AI in pinball tables, but I do understand why people are using AI in pinball. Especially in the Visual Pinball X community. For those who may not be familiar with Visual Pinball X, it is a free and open source pinball simulator. However, part of the terms of service prohibits you from being able to make money off of any of the tables that you create within Visual Pinball X. That means if you create an original pinball table for others to enjoy, you have to make that table available for free download. You cannot sell the table. If you recreate a real pinball table in Visual Pinball X, you definitely cannot sell it then, because not only are you violating the license of Visual Pinball X, but you are also getting into copyright infringement territory with the company who made the actual pinball table. So it gets into a really sticky situation here. So where am I getting with this? You don't make money for the pinball tables that you create in Visual Pinball X, and therefore it becomes a lot more difficult to find artists and musicians to create the art and music for your table. A lot of artists and musicians do not want to contribute free assets. But because of the Visual Pinball X license, it's really the only choice you have, unless if you have a lot of money that you can personally spend with no expectation of ever getting that money back, you know, from sales or anything like that. Um, so a lot of people within the virtual pinball community have turned to AI for that reason. They've turned to using AI to help them come up with the music and the artwork for their tables. It's a sad state of affairs. I will say that. But I do understand why they're doing it. Do I support it personally? No. If you, I'm the type of person who, or vampire, if you want to say that, you should go out of your way to try and find an artist. At the very least, you should exhaust all possible resources before you turn to AI for your table. Don't just use generative AI for your pinball table just because it's there and convenient. No, you should put in the effort of finding an artist or a musician who is willing to contribute towards the project that you're working on. And if they don't want to do it, which is understandable because, again, you probably can't pay them, come up with some idea. So here's an idea that I came up with, and it's actually on the AI statement for the Saving Wallden page. Obviously, I list the contributors and their social media on the website and in the game itself. But I came up with another creative solution that this works around the licensing for Visual Pinball X. Even though the musicians are creating the music for Saving Wallden for free, they could, if they wanted to, separately sell a soundtrack, a high quality soundtrack of that same music. And then they could make money. So they wanted to be, I wanted to be, or whoever is creating the pinball table, they wouldn't be directly paying the musician for the music, but the musician could separately sell the soundtrack and make some sort of profit from it. Similarly, for artists, what you could do is something like this. The artwork that they make for a pinball table, obviously they're not getting directly paid for it because of the licensing of the Visual Pinball X. But what they could do is separately sell merchandise containing said artwork for that table. And I think that would actually be a really creative and possibly effective, I guess, word of mouth advertising for the table. Like, imagine like you created this really awesome original pinball table and you got a t-shirt or mug or something that has a famous catchphrase from the game, or one of the famous characters, original characters that the artist has designed. I think that would be pretty dang cool. So if we get to that point with the artist for Saving Wallden, I'm going to see if they would like to pursue the route of selling some of the art they make for the game as merchandise. And that way they can get a little, they can at least recoup some finances for their time working on the project. Imagine a mug that has the blacksmith character from Saving Wallden on it. And it says something to the effect of protect your balls. Because the blacksmith is responsible for your ball shield or your ball save. Protect your balls. I would buy that mug. I really would. Like if we come up with a concept for an art concept for blacksmith and we pursue the route of merchandising, I would buy my own mug. I would buy that. That would be a really cool mug. All right. What did we get to since the previous stream for the Saving Wallden website? We have completed the castle page, which is the modes of the table. There are 25 different modes. You only have to do 9 of them. Don't worry. 9 per game. And then you fight the mini bosses as well. And then you do the mini wizard. We have finished the blacksmith page. As I mentioned, the blacksmith is the character responsible for your armor class. And then the armor class dictates how long your ball shields and ball saves are in the game. So we have that. The blacksmith objective is very easy. All you do is you just spell blacksmith to increase your armor class. And then once you reach 20, you start the blacksmith mini wizard. We have... Okay, yes, we did. We have also finished the chaser page. The chaser is the ogre who is chasing you throughout the game. This is the hurry-ups of the pinball table. There are 3 phases of hurry-ups to complete the chaser objective, which I have outlined here. And then you complete the 3 phases, and you get the mini wizard for the chaser. So, we are going to work on Dragon today. Dragon is a multi-ball boss battle in the game. So, I do want to mention that the only 2 features that have been actually implemented in the game thus far are Castle and Blacksmith. Well, Blacksmith is fully implemented. Castle is, I'd say we're about 75% finished with Castle. We still have to code in 2 or 3 of the 25 modes. And then we have to code in the mini boss battles and the mini wizards. And then we're done with Castle. Blacksmith is done. Chaser has not been implemented in the game yet, and neither has Dragon. This table is very much a work in progress. However, if you do want to check out, if you do want to give the table a spin, just go to walden.bdstig.me. That's the actual live website. Click download and you will be able to download it. You will need to install Visual Pinball X before you do so, because it runs in the Visual Pinball X Pinball Simulator. I also recommend that you download the Pinup Popper Baller installer as well. But if you just want the minimal install Visual Pinball X, you'll be fine with just Visual Pinball X. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to create our page for Dragon. Now, this is almost a completely built from scratch web page for Saving Wallden. The only thing that I have not created from scratch is the styling of the table, or of the website, rather. Hang on one second. My camera is giving me a little bit of issues. Let me fix that. Okay, there we go. The styling, I am using the Bootstrap 5 library. for the styling. I did customize from the default Bootstrap 5. As you can tell, some of these colors are different from the default Bootstrap 5. I did customize it because I wanted to give a more medieval, old-fashioned impression. So instead of the blue tinted colors that Bootstrap uses by default, we went with browns and, warm white colors, things like that kind of remind you of scrolls and old paper, trees, things like that. Alright, so, like I said, I created this pseudo framework for the website. I'm not using Laravel or Symfony. I'm not using a content management system. Quite frankly, all of that is overkill for a simple website that just tells you what this pinball game is about. So the first thing we need to do, our entry point script is index.php. That's where all traffic is routed from Nginx. We just need to create a route. A new route for Dragon. So when the user types in /rule/dragon in the URL, we want the rule/dragon page. That's a directory path. It goes under body and head. So you got your directory followed by your file. And this is Dragon, that's going to be the page title. And we have our entry point route. Now we need to add this to the navigation. So we have our nav.php, which gets required on every page. We just need to copy this list element here. This is the drop-down menu that you saw on the website right here for rules. We just need to copy that and create a new one for Dragon. We have a function here. What that does is it checks the current page, and if we are on that page, it adds an extra class to that item on the menu, as well as a screen reader attribute. That way, for instance, right now we're on the chaser page, so when I go down into the drop-down menu, the chaser item is highlighted. And then we need to change the href path to take us to the Dragon page when we click on that menu item. Alright. Our navigation is complete. Now, all we have to do now, we have to create a new file under rules, body/rules, call it dragon.php. We need to put our forbidden header at the top. That way, anybody who tries to directly access the field will get a 403 forbidden. They have to go through the official entry point script. Now we have to do the same thing under head. What's the difference between head and body, you ask? Well, the head contains your brain, your ears, your nose, and your mouth, and the body contains your heart, your lungs, your liver, your kidneys, and your pancreas. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just sticking with you. The head, I'll show you in the entry point script. That is my mother. She is on her way over for visitation and to help me with my move. I should activate do not disturb. We don't want to accidentally leak phone numbers. And yes, you saw that her name in my contacts was the badass who gave birth to me. It is an inner joke between the two of us. Do not worry. I am not disrespecting my mother. It is an understood inner joke between the two of us. Because she's always making fun of herself for being fat. So, in return, that's what I put her in my contacts. Alright, anyway, let's get into our actual content here. The head tag of HTML contains your metadata, such as what the page is about, things for search engines. It also contains style sheets like the Bootstrap CSS file and so on and so forth. But primarily, this is where we include the head PHP file. So what we do is on each individual page, we have a head file where we can define its description metadata. So in this case, for Dragon, we could say something about learn about the Dragon multi-ball slash boss battle in Wallden. Now, let's be more specific. In the saving Wallden pinball table. Now what will happen is when search engines index this page, and it gets listed on Google, for the Dragon page specifically, this is what will show up under the link. In theory, not all search engines work like that. They can have a mind of their own sometimes. The head files are also good if I wanted custom styling for a particular page. Like if I wanted a specific, like a custom animation or custom color or something, I could put it in the head. Now we go to body. First, before we do that, let's just make sure that everything is working. So now when we click the rules page, we have Dragon entry. We click Dragon entry, we have empty page with header saying rules Dragon. In this under construction message, I have that showing up on every page for the time being until the site is finished. Alright, so we could get started now at populating the Dragon page. We're going to take some of the content from the old website and put it on the new website. But we're going to reformat it and we are going to reword it. So, let's start off. We are going to create a paragraph tag. 3 large dragons roam the city of Wallden, looking to burn you alive. You must stop them before it's too late. At least you think they are. Let's put that in parentheses, wink wink. New paragraph. This objective is a complex battle. Let me turn on word wrap here. This objective is a complex battle against 3 large dragons. This battle can get difficult and dangerous very quickly if you catch on fire from the dragon's breath. And then we are going to put our spoiler warning. So we're doing this on the new website. This is our spoiler warning. It shows up in alert box, Bootstrap alert box. This page goes heavily into detail with the Dragon objective. It will spoil gameplay and lore. If that's not what you want, then I'd recommend only reading the introduction, disclaimer, basic gameplay, and objectives rules pages. With that being said, we will save our changes and we will start a header 2 tag. Starting a dragon battle. To start the dragon bagel, apparently I have breakfast on the mind. To start a dragon battle, you must spell dragon. Shoot or scoop during normal gameplay to spell dragon. A dragon battle will begin immediately once spelled. You know what? Instead of having two separate headers like I do on the old website, we'll just call it Dragon Battles, and we will put these paragraphs both together. A Dragon Battle consists of a 3-ball multi-ball with 2 times the armor class, seconds of shield. After the shield expires, the balls will continue coming back in play when they are drained, but each drain will trigger a fireball attack. The draining / fireballs. Let's see here. This is going to be an H3 tag because it's a subset of the dragon battle itself. You battle the 3 dragons at the same time, the red one, the green one, and the blue one. Each of the 3 dragons have 250 HP. I might change that. I don't know if I'm going to actually keep it at 250. The crossbow stand-ups will each randomly have a color, red, green, or blue, representing each of the 3 dragons. And the display will show the respective amount of damage each will deal towards its dragon when you hit it, starting at 25 HP, along with the dragon's current HP. The following will increase the damage value of the respective crossbow stand-up or dragon, depending on the color. And we are going to save and preview at that point because we are going to be using a list group element from Bootstrap. Alright, looking good so far. Let's pull up the Bootstrap 5 documentation. We are going to be using a list group. Because they look better than bullet points. At least in my opinion, they do. Alright, then we're just going to put, actually, we're going to use our variant that contains badges. So we're going to use this variant list group instead. So we're going to put the shot name as the text. And then the amount of increase in damage in the badge. We're going to change the badge color to secondary, which would be, in our case, with Wallden, I think it's a dark red or a dark brown or something like that. Let's just save and preview real quick to make sure that we are doing it right. Yes, we are. We got the badge over here. Alright, then we will continue. And we just have 3 items. So we'll go ahead and copy the list element 2 more times. We got our lit shot, which change randomly after each hit. 25 HP per shot. instead of, we'll say shot instead of hit. And finally, the spinner. Color changes every 5 seconds, in parentheses. And we will say 3 HP per spin. Actually, now that I think about it, since we got subtext on 2 of the 3 items, we should be using this variant. Except without the... we're not doing ordered list, we're just doing unordered. So, let me just take this template, copy our text in. We don't have additional text for the bumpers. And we do lit shots as the subheading, and then shots change randomly after each completion. Our badge. Then we have a spinner. Color changes every 5 seconds. And badge. We'll copy this and replace our current list elements. Our formatting got a little bit messed up. I'm a stickler for proper indentation. Oops, I didn't want to do that. There we go. Now let's see how that looks. That looks pretty good if you ask me. So we got our shot, so we got the subtext, and we got the amount of increase in damage that they cause. Alright, moving on. When the dragon loses all its HP, the following happens. It's going to be in a new paragraph. This is just going to be a basic list element. List group, rather. Alright, we have... whoops. The player scores a dragon jackpot of 20 million points. The crossbow stand-up lights randomized. They no longer contain the color of the dead dragon. The color of the dead dragon is no longer used for the shot above. This sentence is a little awkward. I might reword this one. The color of the dead dragon is no longer used for... no longer used in the shots which increase dragon damage. Items. Okay. Oh, I don't like that. We need to add some padding. Let's do a P3 padding on our list element. That's better. The Bootstrap has this nice padding utility classes that help with spacing. And I always forget to use them for the list elements. Alright, I think we'll do one more section and then we'll take our we'll take our 1 hour stream break. This is also going to be an H3 tag, draining / fireball. Every time you drain a ball when the shield is not active, the ball will come back. But a dragon throws a fireball towards you. You must quickly press the action button within 1.5 seconds of the ball draining. An alarm will sound prompting you. An alarm will prompt you, and the button will flash orange. If you succeed, you avoid the fireball. I almost said firewall. If you fail, your fire level increases by 20%. If it is already at 100%, you will instead take immediate damage according to the per fireball section of the 100% row in the table below. Throughout the dragon battle, I didn't see this part of the text. That one was kind of hidden. Throughout the dragon battle, you will take damage depending on your fire level, and we're going to use a PHP function for this. I created a handy little PHP function to help me quickly construct a table. So, this is located in sources/templates.php. We need a header array, and we need a content body array, a data array. That's what I'm trying to think of. The header array is just going to be strings. So that would be the header row here. Fire level. Then an easy. Normal. This pertains to the level of difficulty at which you're playing the game. Hard and impossible. And then data is going to be an array of arrays. Each row is its own array containing one element for each header. 20% fire level. On Zen and Easy, that's 1 HP damage every 20 seconds. In normal gameplay, that's 2 HP every 20 seconds. In hard and impossible, that is 3 HP every 20 seconds. New array. 40% fire. That will be 1, 2, and 3 every 17 seconds. So let's just let's make it quicker. Copy and paste. We'll just change the 20 on each row to 17. %. That is, I presume, the same HP, but every 14 seconds. Then we have 80%, which is the same HP, but every 11 seconds. Finally, we have 100%. You do not want to be at 100%. You're going to take a lot of damage. Plus 3, 6, and 9 HP per extra fireball. Hello, my name's T. Welcome to the stream. I think I remember you from a couple weeks ago when you welcomed me to Valora. How are you doing today? Oh, my bad. It's 3, 6, and 9 HP for extra fireball. I'm doing good. Yourself? I am doing alright, but I am a little stressed out. That's just because I am in the process of moving. I'm actually going to be moving from 2 different cities in Ohio here later this week. So, going to be interesting how that's going to go. Thanks for asking. Yeah, very stressful. But it's going to be an exciting opportunity because I'm currently doing remote work for a company that's stationed down in Cincinnati. That's where I'm going. Cincinnati, Ohio. I have no qualms with giving my city. But the current company is located down there. So I'm moving there for extra opportunities. We're going to actually my name's T. I'm just curious. You work for Valora. I just wanted to know kind of like what's going on with Valora. How are things happening in the Valora scene? I just learned about Valora a couple of weeks ago when Mix It Up pushed out the update for the Valora integration. And while that is going on, we're going to go ahead and call our print table function here with our header and data, and that should give us a nice table of this information on our website. There it is. Nice. My name's T says, it's going great. We launched our Valora Air app, allowing streamers to stream from their mobile app. Nice. If I had a more powerful phone, I would definitely use that. But I don't think. I'm sure, like for in real life streamers, a $250 Motorola phone would probably suit them well. But for a VTuber, I don't think a $250 Motorola phone is going to be able to run VTubing software and the streaming app at the same time. This could be a little too much for this little dinky little phone I got. But that is exciting. Alright. My name's T, and everybody else who has joined us. I am an hour into the stream, so it is time for me to rest my eyes for a few minutes. We're going to go ahead and take a break, but don't go anywhere because we have a few interactive games you can play during the break. With that being said, when we come back, we're going to continue working on the Dragon rules page for the Saving Wallden pinball game website. Feel free to ask any questions if you want to learn more about Saving Wallden itself, the pinball game that I'm developing, or the website. We are also making our own plugin for OBS to improve the streams for all. Nice! Hey, I don't know if you have heard of Atom Suite. Any chance you can get in contact with Atom Suite and ask them if it would be possible to integrate Valora into their streaming outputs? That would be nice. Instead of having to do RTMP I could do the what was the WebRTC. That's what I'm thinking of. We've had a couple of members reach out, but I've not heard anything back. Okay. I guess time will tell. All right. I will be back in just a few minutes, and uh, I got to take care. I got to communicate with my mom, who is on her way over here to help me with the move, and I also got to rest my eyes for a few minutes. So we'll be back in 5 minutes. Welcome back to the stream, and also hello. Uh, it's your name is very bright on my screen. Let me run until you fly. That's what it is. Okay, nice. CEO in chat. Corey. Okay, Corey. Yes, nice to meet you. Welcome to the stream. We are working on. So I'll give you a little bit of background since I am new to the Valora platform. For the past let's see, what was it, 2023? So it's been 3 years already. I've been working on a game called Saving Wallden. It is a pinball game where the goal is that you are trying to save a king and queen from hostile takeover of their village. It is a game in the Visual Pinball X platform, I guess you would call it. It's a simulator that you can freely download off of GitHub. And you can play that and a whole bunch of other tables in Visual Pinball X. It's a really cool platform. So Saving Wallden, I've been working on that for quite some time. Today, we are constructing a new website. Today and actually for a few streams now, we've been constructing a new website for the Saving Wallden game. So that's what we have been working on. The old website, which currently resides on a subdomain on my server, it was affiliated with a group of people who all work together to create pinball games. And the leader of the group did not keep up with paying their for their domain name. So their domain name expired and they lost their website, unfortunately. Which means that we also lost the original website that I had for the Saving Wallden. So we are creating a new website. So we'll have to get Saving Wallden added to the category list. If you have a poster for it, it's easy to add from Discord. Also, I'm sorry to hear that I have too many domains to manage myself. If you were to ask me, I don't think Saving Wallden itself should be a category. But what would be a good category for Valora is Pinball or Visual Pinball X. Because if you add Saving Wallden, then you're going to end up adding thousands of other pinball tables as categories, and that's going to get pretty populated pretty quickly. So my personal recommendation, if you do add any categories, I would say add one for Visual Pinball X, and that will encompass all of the pinball tables that people create and work on within the Visual Pinball community. And I will, oh yeah, you do have a Discord server. I will have to remember after stream to join the Discord server, because I do remember seeing a little Discord icon on the website for that. So, definitely, I will have to do that. Alright, so, before the break, we created a table using my handy print table function in PHP, which I have a little template here. Using Bootstrap 5 classes to create our responsive table. So it's responsive, so it should scale according to your screen size, which is nice. We're going to continue adding in our content for the dragon table, and like I said before, if you want to give Wallden a checkout, you can take a look at the website as it is so far. Just go to walden.pdstig.me. You will have to do a little Cloudflare thing. That's because I've had a bunch of bots ramming my server. And on here, you'll get all the information that about the table. I will say there are some pages that are still missing, obviously, which we're working on now. You could download the game as well if you want to give it a try. Of course, you'll need the Visual Pinball X first before you can run the game, but that's pretty easy to install. Um, and as my chatbot just posted, if you are interested in being a contributor to the table, if you are an actor, a voice actor, an artist, a musician, uh, if you know Visual Basic coding, if you have worked with Visual Pinball X before, any of those things, and you're interested in being a part of the team, feel free to let me know. Oh, nice, Corey. Nice, nice. Would you be interested in possibly singing or being the voice actor for the game? Corey.live. Nice. I will have to bookmark that and check it out. Actually, are you okay with me looking at your website on the stream, Corey? I should ask for your permission first before I do that. But you don't care. All right. Because I do want to check you out real quick. I'm pretty easy to find on the internet. Yeah, same here, to be honest. Um, I'm going to speak like a lot of VTubers in the VTubing community prefer to be anonymous, and they don't like their personal information being exposed and things like that. I'm one of the minority VTubers. You search for me, you could easily find who I am in real life because I run my own company and things like that, and I honestly don't really care if people find me. You're sadly not the VTuber, so you might be, no, 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 I wouldn't be disappointed. I don't just watch VTubers, you know, I also watch humans as well. I stream with an avatar because of my medical conditions, but my music obviously has the real me. Nice. I like it. So, I'm not going to play them on stream because I feel like Twitch and Kick and YouTube might yell at me if I do for copyright reasons, but I will definitely have to check these out off stream. Corey has congestive heart failure and degenerative disc and bone disease. Ooh, sorry to hear about that. But how are you doing, though, with your treatment, out of curiosity? Is your treatment for those conditions going well? You got a lot of really, really cool albums on here that I'm going to have to check out. That's funny. I like the art for that. I'm recovering again because I ended up in the ER actually a week ago tonight. I'm sorry to hear about that, but good to hear that you are recovering. I did read that I did read on the about page the story behind the opening of Valora and how Valora came to be. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, we definitely don't give a lot of credit where credit is due to streamers who take who have different disabilities and take time out of their day to stream and provide entertainment to the masses. In honor of Walter and Louis Legendre, Legendre. I'm not good with pronouncing names, unfortunately. Legend. I'm gonna be stuck on that all day. My last name gets everyone. I hear you on that. My in real life last name is very German, and gets everybody as well. Oh, we hit the 25 chat mark, so that just dealt some damage to the stream bot. Nice. All right. So as I said, like I said, I'm a little afraid to play anything from your albums on stream for copyright reasons, but I will definitely check you out, Corey, after the stream. This is, my name's T. My name is, my first name is South African, so I am called T for short. Out of curiosity, if you don't mind sharing what your full first name is, I would love to hear what it is. But if, I mean, for, okay, Tertius. Tertius, is it Tertius or Tertius? Ter, how do you pronounce that? Tertius? Tertius? Okay. Very cool. All right. I'm on the wrong page. Oh, this is the live website. That's why I'm not seeing Dragon. You know, I've never asked you that, T, because I was embarrassed to ask. Yeah, I hear you. Like, especially in the streamer world, it can get a little taboo to ask for people's names. Oh, yeah, and also messing up the pronunciation. I get you that. But for ease of use, call me T. My name's T, love. Yeah, I would probably be referring you as T. I am terrible with remembering names. So what I tend to just use whatever name that the people use as their username. They could tell me 10 different times and I will still forget. Seems like my animated emotes can't be played in your chat. Oh, I don't have a chat overlay set up for... if you're talking about the Valora chat overlay, I don't have that set up yet. I am trying to figure out... so I stream multi-platform, and I'm currently using Mix It Up to handle all of that. I'm trying to figure out a way that I can... Like, it seems a little awkward for me to put a platform-specific overlay on OBS, if you know what I mean. Um, no worries, we offer too much customization. I know Mix It Up wants to add more Valora features, and I'm sure they will because they just added the integration. Probably, what was it, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, somewhere around there. So, and Mix It Up has been doing a kick-ass job lately of their from the development team. I've noticed when I first started using Mix It Up about a year ago, development was pretty slow back then. But recently, I think this was after they, I don't want to say rebranded, but they got a company behind them, the Blazing Cacti LLC, and then they started to do the what am I trying to say? The Patreon sponsors. That's what I'm trying to think of. I think the income from the Patreon has really helped them out, and they've really sped up the development process. I happened to see your scrolling announcements on your stream overlays and thought I'd share with Corey. Share what with him? The what, like the idea of the streaming announcements? Oh, I enjoyed working with Din for Mix It Up. The Valora integration went from idea to beta channel in less than 3 days. Wow, that is impressive. That is an impressive feat of development. Meanwhile, it took a lot longer for Kick, I think. It's like for the longest time, I've been streaming to. This was before I knew about Valora. I've been streaming to Twitch and Kick, and for the longest time, Mix It Up did not have Kick support. And I've always wondered when they were going to get it, and they finally got it not too long ago. Oh yeah, T talking about the one not getting Twitch payouts. Yep, that's because I'm not an affiliate on Twitch. And I rant about this all the time, and this is one of the reasons why I've been attracted to the Valora platform. And I mean, Kick is also pretty quick about enabling monetization as well, but Valora, right out of the box, I like that about Valora. But with Twitch, it is a grind to get to affiliate. It really is. And even once you get to affiliate, they take 50% of the profit. You're still only getting 50% after you become affiliate. Whereas with Kick, it's 95%, um, which is really good. I don't know about Valora. I don't think you guys publicly disclosed the cut on Valora, but I'm pretty sure it's oh, there it is. Okay, 70-30 here just because we have to make something to operate, which I can understand. Um, Honestly, with how generous the 95-5 cut is with Kick, I don't see how they survive with that. And in fact, they just started putting mandatory unskippable ads on their platform. Oh, they have big money backers. Okay, that I didn't know about Kick. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Valora doesn't have big money backers, which is a, it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's really good because you don't have the influence of the stockholders on your platform. So you have a lot more freedom with what you can do with Valora. But the downside, of course, is you don't have as much resource. You don't have as many resources to do what you want to do, typically, without that funding. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I can rant about Discord, for instance, when Discord used to be, you know, a group of people operating the platform and putting it together. This was before that they changed their mindset and started focusing on going public on the stock market. And ever since then, you just notice this big shift in corporate atmosphere, I guess you would say, and the way they do things on Discord. It's really corporatized now because of their focus on appealing to stockholders and investors. Valora exists in the honor of Corey's late mother and the legendary Media Incorporated company that she started. Oh, she was the one who started it. Okay. Their founder is a billion. Their founder, I'm taking it. You're talking about Kick? Yeah, you're talking about Kick. Their founder is a billionaire and also has the stake casino money. I'm just a househound creator who had the dream to make streaming better. That's funny. You know, I'm noticing something with Valora. Your latency is extremely small on Valora because I will say something and you will reply to it 3 seconds later, if that. Twitch, I believe, has a 4 second latency, and Kick, I'm not sure what Kick's latency is. I haven't had enough feedback from Kick to really judge their latency, but that is impressive. We don't use AWS, we use our own infrastructure. Oh, there you go. My mother's company was originally a traditional publishing business. And when she passed and they called me and told me, "Oh, you're CEO now," and I just was so scared, did not know how to be that. Ooh, that's yeah, I can imagine that being put all of that responsibility being put on you. Oh, and we're also working on tuning latency constantly. I can imagine. There's a lot that goes into streaming. I worked at the radio station when I was in college, and we had our own. It's called Owncast. I don't know if either of you have heard it. You might have heard of it since you started Valora, but we have the Owncast, free and open source live streaming program. We had an Omcast instance for the radio station, so that the DJs and the radio personalities can video stream from the studio through the website. Um, we wanted to do that instead of doing Twitch because of copyright reasons, obviously. We're playing music on the air. So, um, Corey also happened to be a radio host and a storyteller. Wow. Small world. I was a radio host back about 10 to 15 years ago and launched It's Your Radio back in 2012. So, yes, I know a little about the different cast tools and servers. Out of curiosity, is It's Your Radio still operating today? I'm going to temporarily turn off my chat bot because it's going to keep interrupting us. Uh, Turn that off. There we go. It's down for a planned relaunch. Gotcha. I've done. I take it it's a. Was it a stream? Was it the radio streaming platform, or was it an internet radio station, or something else? Uh-oh, I got the message from my mom. Mother is on her way to help me pack for the move to Cincinnati, and she says she is being held captive by one of her 9 cats. Yes, sorta. You can play it on the site, but you can't log in or use any features until the rebuild. With a new site coming later this year, and Valora integration for podcasters. Oh, nice. Who want audio in video version? Oh Lord, the cats run one again. Run until you fly, white licking cat. Oh, I think you were trying to use an emoji, weren't you? Um, I'm curious. I wonder if Mix It Up chat chat widget. I don't know if their chat widget supports Valora emojis just yet. Chat widget. Um, oh, they got badges. I'm not sure about that. Oh, I accidentally reset the widget. Sorry about that. Um, yeah, one of my cute little emotes. Nice. Um, Corey and his lady Chloe have 2 cats, Ruby and Sister. Cute. Um, what breeds are they? Out of curiosity, like, are they calicos? Are they tuxedos, Maine Coons, whatnot? We have 2 pains in the rears. P, uh, an elderly outdoor cat, Kita, who lived here before we did and just became ours. Ruby and her daughter sister are tortoise hell. Oh, I thought that. My bad. That's another emoji. I thought you were saying that Ruby the cat's daughter sister was named Tortoise Hell. That's funny. Just the way that it comes up in my chat. They're gorgeous torties. I hear Chloe constantly tell sister to stop biting the wires. So one of my mom's cats has Pika, I think it's called, or Pico. Pika Pico. I can't remember what the condition is called, but she has an incessant habit of licking plastic items. She will lick plastic bags. She will lick whenever my mom gets those big containers of water, like the 24, 36 pack of water. The cat will lick the plastic from the containers. Um, my mother got a bag of little soft, squishy soccer ball toys for the kitties. She didn't want to play with the balls. She wanted to lick the plastic bag that the balls came in. Yeah, there's some sort of condition. I forget the name of it, but it brings about like strong urges to lick or eat different non-edible items. And humans can get this condition as well, from what I hear. It's like it's pica or something. Uh, Humans in particular might get like a craving to eat or lick paint sometimes. So it's a really interesting condition. And I think cats get it quite often because we have one, like I said, we had that one cat that likes to lick plastic, and one of our former cats, who passed away from old age, she liked to lick paint off of a wall. And I think that was particularly concerning because we lived in an old house, and I believe the paint might have had lead in it. We got the media link sent to us. Um, this is Ruby and her daughter, sister. Let me see if I can. There it is. Ah, cute. Sadly, Ruby's two boys passed away a couple of years ago. That's unfortunate. Look at that, looking at them chilling on that tree. That's cute. Thanks for sharing that with us. All right. We have 20 minutes left in my stream for today, so I am going to try and continue with our dragon page. Feel free to continue conversation if you would like. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and continue working on this webpage. So we have the power-up section to do, and I need to figure out, is this a subsection of the dragon battle? Yes, it is, because this talks about reducing your fire damage during the dragon battle. So that will still be a part of the dragon battle. Activating a power-up during a dragon battle would do one of these three things. Actually, not three, four things. All right, we're going to copy, we're going to use our list group template again, just to make everything look nice. If you are not on fire, the damage value of each dragon is raised by 75 HP at the captive ball. If your fire level is 20%, your fire level is dropped to 0%, and the damage is raised by 50 HP. If it's 40%, it is reduced to 0. And the amount of damage that you will deal to the dragons will increase by 25 HP. If your fire level is 60 or higher, it is reduced by 60%. All right. There's our power-up section. Next, we have one more little paragraph here that we got to put in. When you have a power-up ready, it takes priority on the action button over surrendering the battle, but avoiding fireballs over surrendering the battle. See below, because that hasn't been discussed yet. That's the next section. But avoiding fireballs would take priority over both power-ups and surrendering. So the dragon battle, this is something that is quite unusual in pinball. When you are in a multi-ball or some sort of battle, typically what happens is, let me see if I can pull up the table for you and I can show you. It'll be easier to visualize this. We're gonna bring up Visual Pinball X. And here's the table. Let's get the flippers on there. There we go. So this is our element editor. Alright, let's say you're in a multi-ball and you got 3 different balls in play. Typically what happens in pinball is if you drain a ball, the ball stays out of play, right? You lose a ball, you're down to 2 balls. You lose a ball, your multi-ball ends, and you are down to 1 ball and you are back to normal play. In the Dragon battle, it's a lot different. And I do also want to mention, because I have to, in order to understand this, I also have to mention that Saving Wallden does not use balls per game like most pinball tables do. So like with most pinball tables, you get 3 balls or 5 balls per game. With Wallden, you have an actual health stack. You have HP, and the game goes on until you lose all your HP. So with that in mind, in the Dragon multi-ball, when you lose a ball, it actually comes back into play. However, you get caught on fire, which means that you will start slowly taking damage throughout the battle as the fire starts burning you. Just like with that table up here, it'll tell you, it'll tell you you take this much damage every this many seconds. With that in mind, since the multi-ball continues, that means there are only 2 ways to end the multi-ball, the Dragon multi-ball. One of them being, you die, of course. And the other being, there's 3 ways to end the Dragon multi-ball. You die, you surrender, or you win. So, obviously dying, you lose all your HP in the middle multi-ball, then the multi-ball ends. And presumably the game will also end. So if the fire gets you, that's pretty much it for you. You win. So during the Dragon multi-ball, what you have to do is hit the captive ball here in this triangle to hit these stand-up targets, which deal damage to the dragons. So there's a red dragon, a green dragon, and a blue dragon, and the lights will be flashing the respective colors. Whichever one you hit, it deals damage to that particular dragon. If you defeat all 3 dragons, then you win the dragon battle, and the battle ends. The third condition is surrendering. You can surrender if you find yourself losing too much health from the fire and finding it dangerous to continue your dragon battle. And all you have to do to surrender is push that little action button in the middle of the table, which will be mapped to a key on your keyboard, or if you have a virtual pinball cabinet, you probably have an action button that you can use as well. Pushing that in the middle of the multi-ball will end the multi-ball, and then whatever progress you made in the multi-ball is saved, so that when you go back into the Dragon multi-ball the next time around, whatever damage you dealt to the dragons, it is maintained, so you can deal more damage to the dragons the next go around. Of course, the caveat to surrendering is that you have to spell dragon to get back into the dragon multi-ball. So you have to work towards getting back into the multi-ball again. So it's a delicate balance between skills here. You have to judge your loss of health during when you're on fire, and you catch on fire when you lose your balls during the multi-ball. It's a judgment of that, and a judgment of how much effort are you willing to put into keep getting back at the dragon multi-ball in order to defeat the dragons. I just talked about that here. And it's already out the land on the old website. I'm actually going to put this in an alert box. So we're going to use our bootstrap alert box here. We're going to make this an info box. We're going to change our class to info. That will make it blue. And we're going to put our text inside of it. We're going to use a P tag so that it applies a little bit of padding. So paragraph tag. A dragon battle will keep going until either you defeat all 3 dragons, you lose all your HP, or you surrender. So, I actually don't... It's adding extra padding at the bottom. I don't like that. Okay, maybe we will not put that in a paragraph tag. Okay. So now it's just a matter of copying this text over into our new website. During the dragon battle, when you do not have a collected power-up, if you are on fire, the action button will flash white. You can press the action button at any time when it is flashing white to surrender the dragon battle, especially if you find yourself taking too much damage from it. Copy our next paragraph. You cannot surrender with a power-up in possession. You must use the power-up first. You also cannot surrender when your fire level is at 0%. There's no reason to stop fighting when you're not losing health. You will also auto-surrender the battle if your HP reaches 0. I'll put in parentheses that the power-up will help you with the battle. After surrendering, the dragon battle ends. The flickers freeze to drain the multi-ball, and you are no longer on fire. You will have to spell dragon again to re-enter the battle, but the remaining health of the dragons will carry over to the next time you start the battle. And then finally, we get to our spoiler content. This is where we start talking about the mini wizard, for completing and defeating the dragons. Let me remind myself how I did this with the other one. Okay, right. I created an accordion because it's spoiler content and I don't want the mechanics of the mini wizards to be immediately visible. So we have a print accordion class, and what that does is it takes this directory name and this file name and outputs the HTML of it into a bootstrap accordion. And here's our code for the chaser accordion. Put the word wrap. Okay. Do I have any introductory? Oh, I just say proceed to the mini wizard. Okay, so we'll do that. After defeating all 3 dragons, you will then proceed to the mini wizard. Okay. And then we'll just copy this, which will create our accordion. Except we're going to change it to dragon completion within the dragon directory. Under pieces, that's where it grabs the accordion file. We're going to create a new folder called dragon. We're going to create an empty index.html file. That way people cannot do a directory index attack. And we will create dragoncompletion.php. I'm going to pin what I have for chaser. Whoops, no, not that one. This one. The accordion. Wanted to pin that. Alright. For the dragon completion, of course, we got to have our 4-3 forbidden check to make sure that the web traffic does not directly access the PHP file. Now, you may be wondering, and I never covered this in today's stream, why am I doing this and not using an htaccess file? So those of you who may be familiar with using the Apache web server, you could just use htaccess files and put in access control logic in it, and it will deny unauthorized access. Well, that's because on my development machine I'm using Larabox. And Larabox does not use Apache. Larabox uses Nginx directly, and Nginx does not support htaccess files. I could put these access control definitions within the configuration of Nginx, but I don't want to do that. I just find it a hassle putting website-specific configuration in a web server's configuration. It doesn't make sense. Well, it does, but it doesn't make sense. Okay. Believe it or not, htaccess files in Apache make it super convenient to create configuration specific for a website or a web application. The caveat to htaccess files is that the web server, Apache in this case, has to read in more files on every web request. And that takes a little bit more time, it takes a little bit more CPU, and it takes additional file descriptors. What do I mean by file descriptors? On Linux machines, I don't know about Windows, but I do know on Linux machines, the kernel is set to have a limited number of file descriptors, aka a limited number of files that can be opened for reading or writing on the operating system. It's for efficiency's sake. It's kind of like a file system version of memory leak management. So like with random access memory, if you don't properly manage the memory and free up any memory that you're not using anymore in your application, it's going to build up and build up and build up. And finally, you're going to run out of available memory on your system and it's going to get unstable. The same thing can happen with your hard drive or your SSD. If applications do not properly close files after they're done, they might leave them open indefinitely, and then you have more files that are open and more files that are open, and it creates a bottleneck on your hard disk, especially. Not so much SSDs, because they're pretty efficient, but hard disks especially will have a bottleneck. So file descriptors are a way to cap the number of files that can be opened at once to keep a web server stable. It's the same thing that we do in PHP or other web servers, where you define a limit to the amount of random access memory that the website or application can take up. All right. With that being said, we're going to get into our dragon completion mini wizard. So, spoiler content from this point forward. I am going to be spoiling some of the mini wizard rules. So, if you don't want to know in advance the rules of the dragon mini wizard, I would recommend that you come back in 10 minutes. Alright, with that being said, let us get started. With almost every mini wizard in this game, you are given a choice whether to spare or ally the character, or to finish them off and kill them for good. Not literally for good, but you know what I mean. Kill them, kill them, kill them. It's kind of like Undertale. You can choose to act on the characters in which you enter battle, or you could choose to fight them. Except in Wallden, you always, except with a couple of exceptions, you always fight the character because you are under the impression that they are after you, and they are under the impression that you are after them. So it's a misunderstanding, in other words. And then once you get to the point where one of you, when you have weakened the other character to the point that they can't fight anymore, that's when you make the decision. Do you actually kill them? Or do you humble them? Do you spare them? Do you ask them to join your side? Now you may be wondering, well, if somebody were fighting me and then asked me to join them, I would say, heck no. And you wouldn't be wrong. Why would you ally with somebody who is just fighting with you? That's where the game comes into play. If you choose to spare a character, you don't immediately spare them. You have to complete during the mini wizard. You have to complete an additional objective. Basically, like if you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, you have to use the bard's charisma on them. You have to convince them that you are not after to annihilate them. You just had a misunderstanding, and you want to ally with them, to unite with them against the greater evil of Wallden, and that is the beast who wants to take over the king and queen. Alright, I am going to copy the template from, not Chaser, we're gonna copy from I'm in the wrong section again. We're gonna copy from Castle. The reason why I'm copying from Castle and not Chaser is that the Chaser objective is one of those objectives where things are flip-flopped. You can't immediately kill them or spare them, unlike some other characters. Dragon is not an exception. If you elect to kill the dragons, you insta-kill them. Because the dragons are already, you already took all of their health away. Anyway. we're going to go ahead and put in our text into the spoiler accordion. After you defeated all 3 dragons, you are asked if you want to spare, humble them, and try earning their trust as an ally, or kill them. And we're going to use the same similar language that we used in the castle. A ball is launched into the shooter lane, but the flippers are disabled. If you hit the train stand up, then you will deal the final blow and kill the dragon. If you miss the stand-ups and let the ball drain, then you choose to spare them. I don't know where that MPP tag comes from. Alright, and this is eventually going to be screenshots outlining the spare and the kill mini wizards. But we haven't gotten that far yet. We haven't gotten to the point of getting screenshots. Alright, if you choose to spare the dragons, a 5-ball multi-ball begins with 3 times armor class seconds of ball shield. You must do the following in order to spare each of the 3 dragons. We're going to use a list. We must hit the red bumper 20 times, shoot 3 red shots, and then spit the red spinner 50 times to spare the red dragon. Oh, this should be an ordered list because we're doing it in order. So yeah, this should be numerical order. So OL tag instead of UL tag. It's rare that we use the ordered list tag. Then hit the green bumper 20 times, shoot the 3 green shots, and then spin the green spinner 50 times to spare the green dragon. Finally, hit the blue bumper 20 times. Then shoot the 3 blue shots and spin the blue spinner 50 times. Blue spinner 50 times to spare the blue dragon. Each completed phase earns you 50 million points. Oop, that should not be in the ordered list tag. That should be outside. Okay. If you drain all 5 balls before sparing all 3 dragons, then they will die, and you will get the kill instead. And you will also receive drain damage for draining your balls. Now for kill. The Tri-Draconian Assault Mini Wizard. If you would like to kill the dragons, then a Tri-Draconian Assault begins. There's also going to be a list item, but this one is going to be unordered. So change that back to a UL. Alright, we have our 5-ball multi-ball with 5 times the armor class seconds of ball shield. I'm trying not to say ball save in Wallden. We call it the ball shield around these parts of town. The pop bumpers are flashing and add to the respective dragon's jackpot by 2% per hit. 3 shots are flashing, red, green, and blue, and raise the respective dragon jackpot by 10% per shot. spinner is flashing red, green, or blue, randomized every 5 seconds, to add to the respective dragon's jackpot by 1% per spin. A jackpot value is displayed for each of the 3 colored dragons, starting at the 3 million points. Each jackpot maxes out at 100 million. And actually, I think this item should be mentioned before we talk about raising the jackpot. Hit the captive ball stand-ups to collect the jackpot according to its lit color. The jackpot will, for that color, resets to 3 million. After draining 4 of the 5 balls, this is outside of the list. Whoops. I did not type that tag correctly. After draining 4 of the 5 balls, a 10 seconds last hurrah begins, to give the player one last chance at jackpots before the mini wizard ends. And that should do it for the mini wizard accordion. See how we're looking so far. Nice, nice, nice. That's looking good. Now, as you can see here, you're seeing the alt text for the images, and that's because we don't have images yet. So it's just going to show the alt text until we get screenshots to go up here at the top. All right, we have one last piece of business to do on the dragon page before we conclude the dragon page, and that is the after bonus progress. We're calling it bonus progress now. We're not calling it after objective completion. I think bonus progress is more concise and accurate. After completing the dragon objective, you can battle other dragons around the city. Future battles will consist of only one dragon, like one random bumper, one random shot, and the spinner to raise the captive ball HP damage values. The dragon will have 150 HP instead, but the remaining health will not carry over anymore between battles. And every successful dragon battle where you kill the dragon, that should be defeat, not kill, will earn a potential 25 HP towards the Potion Motion mini wizard. And that is our Dragon Bay. We're going to go ahead and stage, commit, and push. And that will show up a little bit later on the website. We're going to go ahead and conclude our stream for today. So thank you everybody for tuning in. I'm going to recap my announcements before we end. I am Orqata. If you want to learn more about me, you could go to my website at orqata.live. All of my social media handles are here. And you can also get my schedule and learn about the stream boss, the colony points, the redeems, all of that good fun stuff, all on this website. I do want to mention that my streaming schedule has changed for the month of August. It went over to my other monitor. I am in the process of moving. And actually, later today, that process begins. So that means my schedule for August will be kind of limited, and it will be much different from my usual streaming schedule. There will be no streams until August the 2nd. So I'm sorry, everybody. I'm going to be going away until August 2nd because my focus is going to be on work and on packing and moving. From August 3rd to August 9th, there's a reduced chance of streams, particularly because I am not entirely sure when I'm going to get internet hookup at the new place. After August, so when August comes around, this will be my stream schedule. Sundays and Fridays are going to be my two main days, but even then, it's going to be hit or miss whether or not I stream. 50-50, I would say, on both days. Each day, rather. So if I don't stream one day, then chances are I will probably be streaming the other day. Unfortunately, I cannot get a set time for either day because I will be visiting family and they have an unstable sleep schedule. So I never know when they're going to be awake. And I don't want to stream when they're asleep. I don't want to wake the bats. Saturdays, there is a slight chance that I will decide to stream after work, and that will be 8 to 10 if I do. The streams that I'm going to cover throughout this month, I'm just going to be working on saving Wallden, the pinball game, which was what you saw today, and Composer CMS, which is a content management system for building websites. There will not be any TGIF show this month. There will not be any Orqata plays this month, and there will not be any other segments this month. There is a chance that there will be a reaction stream if something big comes up this month that I want to react to. Hopefully, in September, I will be able to bring back those other types of streams. And I plan to start a new type of stream called Orqata Read. It's going to be kind of like Orqata Reacts, except I'm going to be reading from books and reacting and commenting on those books. And it's going to be a lot longer, of course, because with Orqata Reads, books are hundreds of pages. So that's going to be, a multi-stream event. The first book I'm planning to be in September or October. I'm kind of debating. It's going to be a spooky book of some sort. I haven't officially decided on which book yet, but I have one in mind. A very controversial book, but I think it will be fun to read nonetheless. I also bought a pinball book, the Master's Guide to Pinball. That doesn't come out until September, but when it does, probably like maybe starting in November or something, we'll start doing streams of that. And we're going to apply some of the techniques that they try. We're going to be trying some of those techniques live on my stream. So that'll be fun. With that being said, thank you everybody for tuning in. It was great seeing you and great chatting with you. I am Orqata, and until next time, I tip my hat to you. Take care.
Nice.